Alright, so let's do another preparation for the week ahead. Now last week I did NASDAQ as an example, in fact showed you how it is on Sunday, and I also did a follow-up video on it as well during the week. So let's do something else today. This is specifically for the members who are in the membership area. So I'm going to do reports like these, like a little bit of forecasting, just one asset, different assets, not everything obviously, because the whole idea is for the members to get a good idea on how to use it, and if you're thinking about becoming a member, you also have an idea as well. So I'm going to take a look at the euro dollar, and we're going to just do forecast for that. Now on YouTube, a lot of people say you can't predict the markets, you can't predict this, blah blah that, and I show every week how I predict the future before it happens. So obviously you should believe what you see. Now the cycle age report, I printed this on the 23rd of July, and I put this up onto the members area on the 30th of July. Now what you need to know, first of all, the full month of August, the general trade hours, this is for last week, are all here. So obviously I'm not going to show this on YouTube because of my respect to the paying members, but because we're doing one asset a week to kind of like warm ourselves up to have to use the cycle age report, it'll be just an asset and we'll check it out. So this week I'm going to do euro dollar. Let's take a look at, first of all, what to do. What are the steps? The first thing I want to do is go into the weekly insight zone. So I come to the weekly insight. When I come to the weekly insight, I'm going to see this from Sunday to Saturday. Why? Because like I always say, Sunday is important, Saturday is important, because if something's happening on Sunday, it's going to push Monday into it. If something is happening on Saturday, it's going to pull Friday into it. So these days are important, and the week starts on a Sunday, ends on a Saturday. Now the top picks for best turn windows this week. The highest conviction dates are Monday and Friday. Don't just say, okay, it's Monday and Friday. Read what it says. Turn window Sunday 2nd of August to Monday 10th of August. So what started last week is continuing into the 10th of August. Expect a market turn shift at either boundary, which we already did from Monday into Friday last week, which was fine. And in fact, I did a video on this as well, right? So last week we had Tuesday going into Friday, closed the gap, and so on. So this week we have Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So if the market is up on Monday, we're looking to turn around on Tuesday. Why are we looking to turn around Tuesday? Because this is exactly why I said read everything. Monday, okay, confirmed direction with price action rolled over from Sunday event. So this could actually see us back up here. So don't rush into selling. Monday can be an up day, and it can be if you go up into Monday, you can see it's a peak day. All right, so be mindful. So Monday can be a peak day. We could be up there somewhere, but we are looking for selling. All right, and on Tuesday it gives me additional information here. So if I find a high place on Monday, I'm hoping to go with it into Friday, and I got here turn window Friday 7th of August, which is 7th of August, and that should also give me a flow into the 14th of August. Expect a market turn or shift at either boundary. If on Monday market mucks around here, because this is a place they sold heavy, we can sell off on a Tuesday as well, so you don't have to rush. If the market decides to push down, we should come back into a lower level again, right? Now if you're doing your own technical analysis, that's fine. You don't have to use my indicators. If you are using my indicators, you can just turn them on and off here, okay, and it'll also give you another level up here as well. This is why my arrows are slightly higher than this zone, okay, but you don't have to do what I'm doing with technical analysis. And if you're not using my indicators, don't worry about it. Just mark your own levels and do your own technical analysis setups with this in mind, that Monday is a peak and Tuesday intraday cycle leaves extreme range overshoot condition ends. Normal technical levels reassert. Short horizon 1 to 3 day pivot. What does that tell you? Tuesday 1 to 3 day going into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we're probably going to go into Wednesday, might do a sideways on Thursday, dipping down into Friday again. Why is that important? Because it tells you here on Friday, okay, for Friday, if we read it carefully, it says turn window Friday 14 August. Expect a market turn or shift at either boundary on the 7th or the 14th. Cycle engages at the start, releases at the peak. So cycle builds 7 days. That's your Friday 7th going into 14th. So if it does fall off from here, we should be able to follow it into a Friday where the market will come to a level where we expect intra-week short-term swing 3 to 5 day moves. So it should dip into there, rolled over from Saturday event. So the market should pull us into Saturday. All right, so that's the plan, and that's all. So you read that on the week, on Sunday. You do your technical analysis as you see fit. If you're using my indicators, make sure you got your TSM lines. Look, I've got them drawn even from last week. Look, Friday, top to top. Look where the market stopped on a Friday, right on the line. What is that line? 1578. So we had two targets, 78 and 89. 78. Friday, where is Friday? Come here. 1578. All right, so if you sold there, you were fine too. All right, if you want to do something like that, you want to sell on a line, match it to your trading hour, so you can look into your Friday, okay, because you know the trading days in advance. Who gives you this in advance? I printed this out on the 30th of July into the members area. The full month of August is already there. On Friday, what did we have? We had 515. Let's see if that was anywhere near 515. That was 345. Do we have anything for 345 making that PST level? We had, no, we didn't. We had 115, 515. So I didn't have a zone there. But wait, because Friday we have euro dollar hours as well. That's your Monday, Sunday. So let's go into Friday from last week. Come on, mate. I think it's that one now. Friday, 7th of August. Let's see if I had anything there. No, I didn't. It was 130 and 515. So sorry, 551. So I didn't have anything at 350 or like around 4 o'clock. 550 is here though. This is where the market picked up again. Boom, boom. All right, so that was a sell-off. That was a time. If I had the time there as well, that would have been a good match. Sometimes that does happen. If you watch gold, you would have seen that happen there as well. I think it was either gold or NASDAQ or something. So check both. All right, so on the daily, you got your levels, mark them in. If you're using your indicators, mark in your price levels as well. When the week opens up, right, so midnight Sunday, these will all be updated because it's a new week, okay, and the market is going to the upside. So on the one hand, we're trading into the up move. On the other hand, the market has got, you know, room to come down because it's bearish with the market closing below the swings. So going back up to be sold off is an option, and it could do a nice dump into Friday to pick up the pieces again next week to go up, or we can even break down into Friday, and we'll all follow the price levels to see how it pans out. Especially on the daily, we should have new setups happening on the TSM as well, and as they happen, we will kind of like see where that goes. I can also also even put this. That's the low, and I can just do that. And if this thing breaks, if we go up and then break down, then we've got room to come down. Okay, and that will kind of like give us a confirmation. So selling the edges, I always say sell the edges. Sell the edges, buy the edges, right? Sell the edges, buy the edges. But if it's a trade day, you want to sell the edges at the right time. Do it according to your technical analysis, obviously. If you're not using my stuff, which is fine, like I say. All right, if you have any queries, questions though, let me know. What you have to do, once again, let's do a wrap up. First things, go into the weekly insight and check out the days. Read what's going on, especially if there's another day following up, right? So after Monday, we've got Tuesday. So Monday making a peak and then coming off. And then Tuesday, we're probably going to have an opportunity to enter also to, follow that move into what day? Into Friday. And I've got another thing happening on Saturday. So Friday, we're probably going to land somewhere where it's a price target. So Friday is also important. We can follow that whole thing for the week. And all of that is predicted in advance and posted in the members area on the 30th of July. Remember, your cycle edge reports are here. And I've done a special archive for cycle age reports in the archive section. So whenever a month is over, you'll be able to download it here. You just click here and you'll just download. August isn't done yet, obviously, but as we move forward, I will be adding all the previous months. Okay, so you can just download it from here. And that's basically it. And your cycle age report page is here. Whatever you want to pick, you can pick up here. If you don't see that first and it's looking blank, just give it a few seconds. It's gonna come up. All right, Bitcoin, Dow Jones, Euro, Dollar, SP 500, Nasdaq, Gold. If you are trading something other than these assets that I provide, I do have custom analysis service as well. So I can do the same thing for a month, for 3 months, or a full year if you like, for any asset, as long as I can see it on a chart. Have a good day.